Hello guys, and today we have here another matchup. This time it is OCG Nekroz versus Fire Fists. And actually it's a very interesting matchup because Fire Fists, they have Bear, and Bear can be a very annoying card. Granted though, I do have Gunir. Gunir is a card that exists in the deck that is meant to stop cards like Bear that destroy. It still exists, and Bear can still be a huge problem in the deck. And so it's a very interesting matchup because Fire Fists aren't really a thing that much anymore. But they still have good cards, like Gaioku can shut down your decrees, because sometimes you set 2 back row thinking that your opponent would either MST 1 and hope that it doesn't, yet if it gets Gaioku, then it's just as dead. And it can also kill your Nekroz. And then, speaking of Nekroz is a really good card against Fire Fists. It just completely shuts them down. So it's very interesting matchup. And here I have a Gishki Chain, and I'm taking, what, 3 cards, I believe? No, I'm not taking, I'm revealing, looking at the top 3 cards, and I decided to take a Trishula. It is arguably, maybe the Gunir would have been a better choice. But I opened up very well. Like, that top deck can do that Unigore, which is only at 1, again, I repeat, is only at 1 in the OCG, was very great for me. And here I go for the Gunir. Yeah, I go for the Gunir at this point. So it was a tomato effect. It didn't matter which one I took, because I still have my prep and my arc life searches that I can get off. And does our opponent have a response? At this point, there was a misplay here. He thought that was a continuous spell card, not a ritual spell card. And so he MSD'd it, but does not do anything. And I did add Starry to the deck to make Kaleidomi a little bit more live. I could have gotten out both Gunir and him, but then I would have gotten off that search. And it's all very important on that search. And does our opponent have a response to this? He has a Compulse, and I'm trying to make Lavelvo Chain, because if I can make Lavelvo Chain, I can djinn him right here, right now. And so, what do? I actually decide to use Trishula. I decided to use Trishula, which is very interesting, because you don't really see Trishula being used for his other effect, like, unless it's being used on another Trishula. But yet at this point, it's very risky, because you might not djinn your opponent. But here I go, and I search for another Trishula, knowing that I can just banish if the Lavelvo Chain isn't on the field next turn, I can just banish Unicorn and a Kaleidomi for it anyways. But then I see my prep and I go, oh, Colossalus, whose effect I have not used this turn. And then I am also able to add back Kaleidomi, which is really good. Prep is just amazing in this deck. I just can't wait for this deck to come out for the TCG where everything's at 3, or at least until finals. Well, not finals, round 2. In round 2, it will all be TCG, I believe. So people have been telling me that I would be able to run Nekroz at their maximum potential, and I have actually made a lot of changes to the deck, really based off of what I've seen in the OCG and their deck lists. And I've been trying to base it around that. Although they don't run Nekroz second, I don't think they actually run World Decree. They do run Shared Ride though. They do run Shared Ride. So here I detach go for Lavelvo Chain to drop djinn. And I also have another question. I was looking up Senju's, and has anybody ever seen that other art? Is that an OCG exclusive artwork? Because there's 2 different artworks, and I've only seen that one that looks different from Manju, but there's another one that I believe is on DevPro and Dawn of a New Era. They have that artwork. And here I go for the Banish 3, and it doesn't really matter. All that I really wanted to hit was that 1 card on the field. And I hit the one I hit on the field was a Tensin, I believe, and the one I hit in the hand was a Rooster. And here I get off 2 direct attacks. And at this point, he only has 1 card in hand, no cards on field. I have a Gunir, and I have a Lavelvo Chain, which can pretty much set me up for any plays I want in my the turn after my next. And so my opponent doesn't have much to do. Even if they get a Rejeki, there isn't much, and so he just ends up surrendering at this point. And so this matchup, yeah, it wasn't necessarily like a big matchup that anybody would have thought, but yet it is still good to see these rogue decks like Fire Fist or tier 2 decks face the meta, or face these really powerful decks, because it's just good to see the matchups, because sometimes the decks can just lose. Like, I really think that the matchups that Nekroz would have the hardest would be Monarchs and Illusions, actually. I think those would be one of the hardest. The only other one that I think would be hard would be any deck that can make Materia Beast. That would also be a very hard matchup also to deal with. And so you see these matchups, and it's just good to see them. Like Monarchs, what is a Djinn gonna do? You just killed Treebone Frog. Okay, Monarchs turn 4th, gets rid of your Djinn, and so so these matchups, it's still good to see, even if it's not the whole Clifford's versus Nekroz or Burning Abyss versus Nekroz, the whole meta matchup to see which deck is better. Because everybody wants to see that. Everybody wants to see which deck they should buy. Be it, it's the people that go out and actually run a deck that isn't meta that I have the most respect for, because they believe in their deck the most, and they aren't going to risk, or they are not going to go and buy a new deck. Like, I hate the people that went from Shaddoll's to Clifford's to Burning Abyss. Like, those people that spent the money on those decks and they ran those decks. It's just like, they don't really even care. They're just playing, they're just having the card and playing the game. And they're doing well because the decks do well, but it's like the people that go out of the way and they try to actually make their decks good to respond against the meta, yet it's not actually meta, and that's really nice. Like, I'm really glad. I heard that once at apparently like a Ritual Beast Tamers, there's the new Contact Fusion deck that comes out in Secret Force. They won a tournament. They got first place in the OCG, but then again, Macro was at 3 there. But yeah, so yeah, this matchup is really good, and it was very basic plays. Just the Unicorn and Velvet Chain drop. Like, I was staring at a lot of different OCG decks, and I think all of them ran the Velvet Chain, and I was realizing that is the play they go for. And they were all running 3 Senju, 3 Manju, because they wanted that Manju, they wanted that Senju, so that way they could get off those plays, because it just gets out a whole bunch of monsters. You do a whole bunch of searching, and then even if you can't game them, you still Djinn them. So it just gives so much advantage to the Nekroz player to just do these basic plays where it's your Velvet Chain into a Djinn. And if you're going second, it's even better, because then you can attack and you actually can Djinn. Like, going first, I would have just stopped at the Velvet Chain and dropped a Djinn, which has risks into seeing a Soul Release as DD Crow, but that's just the risk I play. But yeah, hopefully you guys have enjoyed this video. Though again, will be more Battle City for the rest of the week, pretty much. And yeah, thank you guys for watching, and don't forget to check out some of my other videos. There should be one with an annotation and a link showing up pretty soon. So yes, thank you guys for watching. See you guys later. Bye.